And
What up, dudes? I'm Casey,
Isaac.
and we're here for some fucking dude talk with the current situation in the film industry involving motherfucking comic book movies, which is like the biggest deal in movies these days. You know, it's like this is the era of comic book movies, the years to come, and we're just here to talk some shit. So feel free to like, comment, whatever, get involved in the conversation. Yeah, dudes, this is what's up. We are talking Wonder Woman today.
First topic today is Wonder Woman.
Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, so she's from Fast and Furious, which I am not familiar with that series at all. So I've just lost a lot of you already right now because you're like, fucking, I haven't seen Fast and Furious. Well, yeah, I just never really got around to seeing him, but this guy has. Yeah, so he is more familiar with the series.
I'm more familiar with her. She's very... I think she'd be able to match up with Cavill and Ben Affleck in the physicality of the roles. She does her own stunts and all that stuff, and I think she'll be able to pack on some muscle, much like Christian Bale did before Batman Begins, because he was like 90 pounds a machinist, and he bulked out and owned his Bruce Wayne role, so... I do believe she'll do the exact same. I mean, and even though I was against it at first, I mean, Zack Snyder must have saw something in her that, even though I was, like everybody else on the internet today, I was rooting for Jamie Alexander, because, her in Thor 2 was great. I even fucking think she looks exactly like Wonder Woman.
It's just,
however,
the one thing is Gal Gadot is just a little... Physically, even though she's in the army, she could totally kick my ass. Okay, but aside from that, looking at her, she's just a little thin and dainty for Wonder Woman, who we think of as this big, broad woman. And so when I first saw her, I was like, that's interesting. I see her more as like a Catwoman type, or like a, she's pretty much kind of built like seemingly like a more physically fit Anne Hathaway. Thin, tall, whatever.
Yeah, very sleek.
Very sleek, yeah. And, Wonder Woman is just like freaking, pretty much like a bodybuilder for a woman. She's a huge, buff lady.
She is Amazonian.
That's in the blood, man. Fucking. So, yeah, that was my first thing. I just don't know if the look is there. But, this is the guy who cast Michael Shannon as General Zod. And that's awesome.
That turned out extremely well for that
amazing.
Movie.
We love him. And, but even, M. Shan as G-Zod, dude, he fucking... he would never look like the guy who would lead an army from an intergalactic army to destroy the world. He's just Michael Shannon. He's like a normal guy.
Yeah, especially the over-the-top commanding comic book type villain.
Yeah.
Normally you don't see him in those kind of roles, but it worked out. So I think even like Kevin Costner, as Papa Kent.
Amazing.
He hasn't done much recently, but now he's this movie. Now he's. From what I've been seeing on the internet, he can very well be the next Liam Neeson. He's got a lot of action movies coming out.
Kevin
so,
Costner's
that's
awesome.
definitely... I think it's definitely a John Travolta kind of move for him, John Travolta was nothing, did Pulp Fiction, and then he was back in the limelight. I definitely think that's what's happened to Kevin Costner. And
not to get sidetracked here, but Jay Travolta, dude, he was fucking Saturday Night Fever. Hello, Grease. Before he did fucking Pulp Fiction, he was somebody. It's not like he was just an underground star.
True,
but this isn't about Travolta. We can't get sidetracked.
We'll need to get back on
Very
top.
easy to get sidetracked about the Travolta.
Yeah. We'll get back on track.
Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, so all in all, I'm happy. I'm behind it. I was initially like, what? But I think it's actually a good choice. So, go Zack Snyder. I'm behind you, man, because I fucking love Man of Steel. And there's a lot of people, like I said, comment, dudes, because right now there's a lot of opinions out there. People do not like Man of Steel. I thought it was amazing. And I thought it was exactly like... what you did not expect from this introduction into this new universe.
It's what we needed today for Superman.
You think it's going to be like this long-winded 2-hour,
the Boy Scout
origin story.
The Boy Scout hero that we had back in the day.
Yeah, but they don't fuck around with origin story. They splice it up throughout the movie, mixed with badass action.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the best action I've seen in a long time, dude. Seriously. So, I have full faith in Z Snide with the casting of Gal Gadot, and I think she's going to make a wonderful Wonder Woman.
Dude, Nick, we'll just keep going a little Superman talk right now. Talk about some some rumored actors that we've heard possibly
Okay,
being cast in the movie.
this is what this is all about, dudes. So
We'll start out with a different one. We'll start out, but I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I am curious to see how Jason Momoa works out because they're talking that he's in talks for a role that's undisclosed. So could be hero, could be villain. A lot of speculation out there, but
dude, he's too dark looking to be a villain. I mean, to be a hero, man. Like, I mean, seriously, they're not gonna waste that fucking dark motherfucker on like, fucking Aquaman. You know what I'm saying? Or
I think if there's any hero, I do think that the internet people are correct with the Martian Manhunters. I know you have no fucking clue who that is, but however, crime fighting, super strong alien trapped on Earth.
I do not think they will bring in this movie, dude. It's not a fucking Justice League movie, and I understand they're gonna try to like make it kind of one by having all of them in it, but I don't think they're gonna have the underground dudes in there. Martian Manhunter, though, is
he's not an underground guy though. He is one of the.
Just never thought of him as.
He's one of the main. He's one of the main Justice League victors. He's definitely not the most popular, but then again, most of the Justice League members aren't that popular. Mainly, you have the top three of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, and everyone else kind of. No one really. There are fans of Green Lantern and Flash and Green Arrow and Aquaman and everyone else involved. However, those three are definitely, I think, the most popular. So, I mean, but more likely, he's got a really commanding, personality in his acting, especially like how we see Khal Drogo in Game of Thrones. More likely, he's going to be a villain. Which one?
Dude, he'd be a great Lex Luthor, man. And everybody's like, oh, and I know. His physique is like uber badass, right? Yeah. But this is a Lex that we do not know. And Lex in the cartoon series, the old fucking school one, dude, that we all know, Superman, the animated series, he was buff as shit. And he was dark, and he was imposing, and he looked like a freaking... Momoa would look like the cartoon version of Lex Luthor if he really like shaped his head and made him fucking... Put on the suit, dude. He would be motherfucking Lex Luthor.
Could be, but more likely he'll be Doomsday or Metallo or.
And I think he's too.
Could be Darkseid.
That'd be cool, man. But the question of Darkseid coming in this.
Just how Thanos was in Avengers. He won't be the major villain, but he'll be in the background pulling strings. So.
Yeah.
But more like I think. The Lex Luthor names I've been hearing, I saw the rumor about, Denzel Washington for that. He's a fucking good actor, and I think
he's better than good, man. He's Denzel.
He would own that role. I mean, he'd have the charismatic, charming.
I think he's too.
Savior of Metropolis that we all know and love, and he could also, behind the curtains,
what's his track record with doing, like, big budget superhero movies, though? He's like
Denzel,
quality film guy, man.
I wouldn't say
this would be kind of cheap for him, dude.
Comic book, but
it shouldn't be. But I think
stuff like Man on Fire, Training Day. He kind of some stuff like even that Unstoppable more recently. It's some more physical roles, in those, and he's Denzel. He owned that shit, so I would definitely say he would be able to fit in perfectly with that, but. More recently, we did hear Joaquin Phoenix names.
The great Joaquin Phoenix, man.
Hear his name dropped for that role, and I think, he's
Johnny Cash and Lex Luthor, man. But he's what he is. He's a great actor, and I know Joaquin Phoenix is completely dedicated to whatever role he plays. But I don't know, like he kind of looks already shady. Just if you look at him, that's why he was great as Johnny Cash. Is that he is kind of like. I see Lex Luthor as more of like, he has to have that duality. Like, in the public eye, he's a hero. And I just think Joaquin Phoenix, but I don't know, dude. He played a priest, didn't he? In fucking Jeffrey Rush, Quills. He played a fucking priest.
Yeah, so, and even more recently with stuff like...
He's a great actor, so I see it, dude. I love the man.
And more recently, his big breakout roles. I won't say breakout, but his humongous roles in Master, and more recently, Her, that's... getting all sorts of nominations It's already been winning awards all over so far. And I saw in LA recently some of their small time film awards that's already been winning a ton. So he definitely would be a person to watch. And we already know he could play a good villain from his role in Gladiator,
Absolutely.
opposite
With
Russell Crowe. Yeah, so that would be definitely a good start because there would be some chemistry already there between those two. Probably won't share any scenes together though. So, but oh well, they'll still be billed on the same ticket together. So it'll be interesting if that works out. But like you guys, we're just waiting for some official word, and hopefully we'll be hearing stuff soon because keep hearing that February will be start of production. So here soon we're going to be getting some official photos of costume designs, all sorts of stuff, more confirmed, roles, actors, everything, story, synopsis, everything like that. So just playing the waiting game like you guys out there.
So the thing that we'll close it up here in a few, but I think one thing we got to get to with Man of Steel, and then we'll go to something else, is okay. So these characters are rumored. Like, this is, what do you think is going to be the plot, if you will, of the next Man of Steel? Now, I know there's a lot going on, and it's kind of hard to really see anything right now, but like, you got to think logically, like, why would they have certain characters? I mean, this is 2015, right? And that's when fucking Star Wars comes out. That's when Avengers 2 comes out. I mean, they have to go balls out. Every nerd genre is just competing for, like, that best movie. So they have people who've been talking Doomsday. And I kind of see it now. Like, why the fuck not should we kill Superman? Like, I know we just introduced him. Let's just fucking make the biggest, craziest movie ever. We got to compete with these other movies like Star Wars and Avengers, and I just, come on, man, the new Star Wars. I mean, it's going to dominate everything. I mean, everybody is getting their game on, so you can bet your ass Avengers 2 is going to be amazing. And Man of Steel 2 is going to be fucking amazing. So you got to think, like, will a simple story of just Lex Luthor and Batman and Superman being buddies really be enough? No, I don't think so. I think that's cool, but I think we need more. And I think that's why they're involving so many characters in this shit, is because that's, like, at least for this initial next phase of comic book movies, that's what everybody's trying to do. Because right now it's like, who is the leader of the pack? So, in my opinion, since the Dark Knight trilogy has ended, which was a great thing, but totally done and totally in itself now, I think Man of Steel is great, but I think the most promising series, in my opinion, is the new Spider-Man. And I am so excited about the Amazing Spider-Man 2. If you've seen the trailer, it's going to be fucking amazing, dude. There's some rumors surrounding that. But I think we should definitely talk about, like the storyline and exactly where that's going with the introduction of the Sinister Six, which is what we know this series, at least right now, for the next few, is going to be about. Which Sinister Six that is, there's been so many different members come in and out of the Sinister Six,
True, and they did announce that they are going to do separate movies for introducing Sinister Six and Venom, in addition to outside of the context of the Amazing Spider-Man movies that were going on right now.
Have a spin-off.
They'll be their own little spin-offs.
That will be cool.
If you look online and everything like that, there has been some teases or some potential Sinister Six people in there. There was something released a couple weeks ago that I saw that we do see in these Amazing Spider-Man 2 trailer what seems to be Doc Ock's arms.
Hell yeah.
And the Vulture's wingsuit. So
we know the Vulture is in it already because if I don't know what the fuck his name is.
Confior, I think.
That dude.
I think that's who they announced.
Is playing Adrian Toomes, who is the Vulture.
Yeah.
And in an interview, they were like, "Are you playing the Vulture?" And he's like, "Oh no, I'm not playing that guy." I think he was saying, "I'm playing Adrian Toomes. I'm not playing the Vulture just yet."
Yeah.
But duh, dude, it's the fucking Vulture. Vulture, Doc Ock, right? But the thing is, the Green Goblin and the whole Norman Osborn thing, in the comics, the Goblin was not a main member of the Sinister Six. Norman Osborn had his own organizations of evil, but the Sinister Six really was kind of Doc Ock's baby.
Yeah,
and
I think they'll be bringing back Rhino to be in it because I think he's just an Act 1 villain in this, and he'll be arrested, but he'll be broke out soon after that, and then he'll be that would be 3 down of the 6. The other ones could be Sandman. You know, they could be bringing back Electro depending on how his storyline wraps up in 2.
Well, that's another thing I was getting at is I think the Sinister Six is going to be comprised of, like, Lizard had his first movie. That will be it. I don't think he'll come back for the 6. Electro is going to be fucking baller in this movie, and I think that's going to be it. So I don't think he's going to be in the 6. Even though in the comics he is. But I think they're just going to go balls out with Electro. Because he is the main villain of this one. The Goblin is in charge of the 6. I don't know if that necessarily means that he is part of the 6, or if he's just like, I'm in charge of Oscorp, you know, and then I control the Sinister Six. I would say he probably is part of the 6. And then, of course, including Doc Ock, including motherfucking Vulture, and then Rhino. I think those are the 4 for sure ones.
Yeah.
Other ones that we wonder, a big member of the Sinister Six was Kraven the Hunter. You know, and Kraven the Hunter is like the other like big villain that hasn't really been done. So, I mean, who knows where the fuck Spider-Man 3 will go. But to me, I think in that movie we can pretty much be guaranteed we'll see Doc Ock and Vulture. It's going to give us like a lot of clues as to like who these villains are and who's gonna be in the next one upcoming. So yeah, you know, that's we'll just wrap it up here. Thank you so much, dudes. We're gonna make another fucking podcast here soon, whenever we find out news. But I'm Casey, this is Isaac. Fucking rock on, dude, and we'll keep you posted as soon as we hear some shit. Peace.